Yeah, yeah. Like my new hair. It started falling out and in chunks. And it looks like I got it all, but there's some bald spots up here. And it was just falling out. And I tried to make a pizza and I was getting hair in the pizza. Not that this short hair won't fall, but I'm gonna have to get a hairnet or something. So I said, well, we better take it off because every time I brushed, there's just a wad of hair. It was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So it's Ron, and thanks for tuning in. And I'm going to try not to make this a cancer channel. No, I'm still going to try to still do my own teachings. I say my own because that seems to be the only one that knows what I know. So I offer up that information as I can, um, more comprehensively when I type to people, specifically responding to what they're saying in their video. That makes more sense, but doesn't always work that way. So today I was at the oncologist this morning, and it turns out that the um, injection I was given this past week um, worked. So my bones, my marrow, my bone marrow produced enough. It was an immunotherapy treatment. It forced them to produce white blood cells. And now everything's normalized. So now I don't have to wear a mask around people. I have an immunity. My immunity is working. So it's not so risky. And, but I tell you, I don't understand what's going on, but I get this, seems in several different directions. I get this attitude from women um, over me. It's like they're pissed at me or they're mad at me for something and not even knowing me. It's like, what the fuck? And then turn around and be two-faced with other people, sweet and kind and nice and cheerful. But then around me, they're bitter and, yeah, very angry. Like, so this morning I got called in by a nurse to have draw blood, and she called my name, and I walked up, and she goes, "Walk forward, please." So I'm walking forward, and I'm going down the hallway, and I can see at the end of the hallway there's an office that's with the lights off. It's completely dark, and the hallway splits into a T. So I get down to the end of the hallway, and I look in both ways. Which way do you want me to go? She said, "Forward, please." I said, "Into a room with no lights on?" And she walked in, turned the lights on, and I went in and she took my blood. She wouldn't talk to me the whole time I was there. And then she says, "Okay." And I said, "Do you want me to go back into the lobby?" She says, "Yes, please." Because, they were going to get the results right away. It takes about an hour. It means I have to sit for an hour. So I head to the lobby and I sit there and she comes out and she calls the next patient and it's all sunshine. "Oh, hi, honey. Oh, what are you doing? How are you? Oh, it's so good to see you. Let's go." And they go off down the hallway to their respective direction. She didn't say forward, please. She didn't tell the other person forward, whatever, forward. So I thought that was kind of rude. So I thought, man hater. She's a man hater. But she's pissed off at her boyfriend and she's just projecting. Whatever. So then I called Dial a Ride. That's the people who provide a ride service for people like myself. elderly and the sick, people who have cancer. And so I called Dial-A-Ride, and I have to call today to schedule for next week. So you can only schedule, I couldn't schedule last week for next week. That's 2 weeks away. So it has to be within a week, I assume. That's what they explained to me. So today would be the first day that I could call to schedule for next week, anytime next week. So I called to schedule for Monday. Nope, no availability. And I don't understand that because every time you picked me up so far, it's been an empty bus. I mean, there's been one or two people that get on, but there's been a pickup and a drop off, but that's it. One person, two people. It's a bus that can hold at least eight, maybe eight people. It's a little tiny bus. So, anyways, no availability. And she was really weird because I didn't know the address of the building to the hospital. She said, well, that's ridiculous. You guys are a Memorial Hospital, and all I have to do is tell you what annex it is. It's Building C. That's the oncology building. And you know that. And you know exactly where it's at because you pick up people and drop them off every single day at the same place. But it's your responsibility to know the address. Have a nice day. No availability. And I'm really getting it, you know? I was like, so I took her name down, Miss Crystal, and I told her I wanted to talk to a supervisor or customer service, and she just hung up on me. So I called the Roadrunner people, that's the bus people, but they don't contend with it. It's a separate operation, even though it's under their name, same name, Roadrunner Transit. So they transferred me again to the Dial-A-Ride people, and all I got was a recording to leave a message. So I did, and I'm not going to sit by the phone and wait for them to call because they're not. I just have to call tomorrow and get a different operator that is kind, and she'll say, "Oh, honey, there's no problem. Ain't nobody taking these rides anyways." Obviously, I never see them packed when I do see them, and I've now been using them for several weeks and three trips now, back and forth, and it's an empty ride. I don't get it. And then I'm also told that if your appointment goes over, then another driver will pick you up in 15 minutes. Just call when you're ready. Well, what kind of availability is that? Just call when you're ready. So there's something going on. Is this a little twit? Is it just a little twit on that's working the day shift today, and she don't like me, and she's just having a bad day? Man hate. They're man hating out there. What the hell is going on? So, anyways, what a bummer. So now I have two scheduled appointments Friday for chest X-rays and an appointment with my PCP again. It's just a follow-up. They just want to talk. It's all new to them. You know, this is how they learn. It's an internship, so they bring in all the interns. It's very interesting. The doctor comes in and sits down in front of me, and around her is like 6 to 8 interns who are just absorbing everything that's going on. And so I offer up as much information as possible so they all get absorbed, and each one can ask me questions and check me out. They're interns, they're doctors, they're up and coming doctors. So great, fantastic. You know, I want someone's going to see something or hear something that the others don't. I don't know. So, anyways, she wanted to see me as a follow up again after I see the oncologist because they're concerned that my blood count was bad and that I, had lost my immunity because of the first round of chemo, because that's what it does. It knocks out your system and kills it. So they were able to boost it through my own immunity because it's a treatment, immunotherapy, and then chemo, immunotherapy, and then chemo. And I have 4 rounds of, therapy. So it's already sitting there that are approved. And then I have chemo. So the next round of chemo, because they don't know what happens to the person when you kill their essence, their immunity. Yeah. You can have reaction. Each one's different. Everybody's going to behave differently. So of course, so far so good. I have been uh, I have been responding well to what's going on, and I didn't understand what it would feel like until it happens. And so I look forward to the next round of chemo, but I know what's going to happen is that it kills everything, and so even my digestion is fucked up, because of the loss of my natural abilities. Like, you have enzymes inside of your body, beneficial bacteria, good, good, good flora, and then if it gets knocked out, well, then you have to regenerate, acid alpha-less yogurts, things like that. Anyways, I guess everybody knows these health things. They probably know them better than I do. So, so today was good, a good day, except for the man-hating women. And they picked me up with an empty bus, took me all the way to the oncology with no problem, dropped me off in an empty bus. And then when my appointment was done, I sat outside and I saw them pull up. So I walked over and they said, Haskell? And I said, yes. And I was 10, 20 minutes early. And they said, well, we were early. We were just going to sit and wait until 10:20. And if you didn't show up, we were going to go. And so I jumped on the bus, an empty bus, and they brought me home by myself. And it's not like the oncology office was empty, it was packed. And people were coming in to go upstairs to get their infusions. And so they're picking up their packets, going upstairs, getting infusions. And those infusions take several hours. Well, if there's no availability because there's so many oncology patients, well, how come these are the patients that have their own cars? Where are all the other patients? Do they only go on the 15th? So I thought it was quite rude. I puzzled it out for her, but yet she still insisted that you can just check back for availability later. What does that mean? That you're on, like, are you menstruating? That you just hate men right now? Menstruating? Well, I'm not straight, so stop it. No shit. Dang that. What is this? Oh, yeah, family medicine. They're just confirming my appointment. I was watching someone who has, I told you it's not going to be a cancer channel, but I guess it's a condition that you find yourself in that you like to speak about, and that's what it's all about. Speaking, bitching, complaining, ranting, whatever it takes. It's the therapy that we all desire. Yeah, because it's communication. So I listened to this guy who has cancer, and he's very frustrated because he says cancer is lying to you, and it's actually consuming you as it becomes the only thing part of your life. It's the subject of your life. And the constant appointments are just ridiculous. Appointment for this, appointment for that, appointment for this, appointment for that, constant, constant, every week, week after week after week after week. And then in his situation, the chemo is making him weaker. never felt so weak in all his life as before December, even though he was feeling bad. He didn't have a diagnosis. He just felt bad and went into the ER. And it was there that they discovered his problem. Well, it was there when they discovered that there was a problem. And then he had to go through all the diagnostics and the biopsies. You know how I had to go through the same process to get a diagnosis because you can't get one without all those things. Yeah. And then, of course, once the diagnosis is in place, then immediately they thrust you into the chemo and the therapies that are available to save your life because you can't, there, it can be cured if it's treated. There's a difference in the way people understand it. So, anyways, he's very depressed. And then he started quoting the Bible, Corinthians, Pauline, Paul doctrine. I was like, oh my God, throw that man under the bus. What are you doing? That's who the Lord warned you about. He warned you another would come in his own name and he you would believe. And Paul begins his letters as I, Paul. I, Paul. If you go in there and look, he begins all his letters as I, Paul. So he's doing exactly what the Lord warned you he would do. And yet you just are oblivious to the fact that an apostle is an apostate as it's apostasy because it was all apostolic. So it's Rome. Come on. Stop. He was a Pharisee, a tax collector. And we know what he did to Stephen, and yet in his own involvement, he denies it. So he's a thief, a liar, and a murderer from the beginning. So, anyways, I gave the guy an earful. Sure, I think so. You know, drop that man, that Paul, and listen to the Lord. And yeah, seek the joy in your life. Seek joy. You know you have a terminal illness. Now, who do you blame? Yourself? Well, clearly you're working, this man works in a wood shop. So it's environmental, probably. Something in your environment. But yet, it could, in my case, you know, the small cell carcinoma, B cell, you know, small B cell carcinoma of the lung, it's the most aggressive. It's the one that most likely will metastasize. And uh, and yet I'm in an early stage and I'm responding well. But who do I blame? Myself for smoking? It could very well be environmental. Non-smokers get uh, lung cancer too. And so we have to look at what's being put into our atmosphere and who's using sprays, you know, pre-emergence, the city does, and then look at our water quality. The COVID-19 cancer-causing agents, now we're finding out that there's twice as much arsenic than the FDA approves. Well, shouldn't that mean shut down the water systems? Obviously not. They just put a notice out. So, well, they've been notified. Well, not really. So, yeah, and our food too. What about our food? I mean, look what they've discovered. Plastics and fillers, even in Cheerios and well-known brands. It's so sad. It's beyond sad what the corporation's psychotic nature is capable of. It's not human. No, we should go back to Ma and Pa stores. We should have farmers markets. We should be buying local food. Yeah, we should clean our water. It's just disgusting. It makes you wonder how much our water table is affected by the Manhattan Project, you know, the Trinity. Trinity, yeah, here in White Sands. That was a ground detonation, and well, honey, there's a water table under there. Makes you wonder. Not to mention what went into the atmosphere and then fell onto the ground, which leaches then was leached down, even in the mountains, yeah, down the washout, and what it affects everything beyond that, because it's that water also that enters the water table. Of course it does. How sad. It's kind of quiet today, isn't it? What is the 8th? So it's the 8th. I got to experience the eclipse. I hope you all did too. Of course, it was partial here, but still the trees did the dappling shadows, and it was like shaded. It's like the day was shaded. Inside it was dark, and it was like being under a cloud, but yet the sun's full out. And actually could look up at the sun just for a moment and could see it. And because, I'm just glancing. It's not like I don't look at the sun and glance at it all the time. And, but it looked pretty outside. But the thing I noticed was the temperature drop. It's like, eek, good. Oh, good. I get so sensitive to that, especially this shoulder doesn't like the cold. Mm. I have to put heating pad on it to make it calm down. And, that's purely from diagnostics. So that one man who was complaining about the chemo killing him, knocking him down. Well, with me, I didn't have a reaction like that with chemo. It's all the diagnostics. So the diagnostics of what they did to my neck, because it's affecting my whole neck, and then my shoulder and everything. I'm still able to work it. I can work it. Been digging. I did a new flower bed. Filled it with right here. I finally finished it. I started digging into my mulch bin. I just finished weed whacking the whole yard today because I had already mowed the other day. So I weed whacked. It's all the backyard is just it's just almost where I want it. Except for I have a few more trees to dig around and mulch and dig up some more glads because I want to move them. They're so productive here. I need more colors. I don't know why there's no one out there that doesn't want to donate to me some, a gift certificate to a nursery stock seed company or something, because I could really, really put a lot of prettiness to this yard if I had access to seeds other than the crappy seeds that are at these stores. Buying the American seeds for $4, $4, it limits you what you get. There's marigolds, there's the mammoths, sunflower, onions, cucumber, some beans, squash, and some peppers. This is $4, $2. It's so great, but it's still it's not the cultivars. They're not proper. They're not. No, the regular marigolds that I buy from them that get too tall. They don't grow here. But everything else so far, the Shasta daisies did good. Snapdragons, they did good. The cosmos did good. Yeah, but still, there's so much more that I don't have access to. So, anyways, I'd like other colors of some glass. I really would. But I got to get out here in the front now. The front is so much like fall. I guess I could pull the GoPro out there and do a walk around. I wish I could do like some of these other people do that set up the camera and they film themselves working and they do it fast forward. So you see the area is all fucked up. And then as you go through, then it's all cleaned up. It looks real nice. So it will look nice if I can get out there on my hands and knees and start popping some of those weeds out there and then cleaning out. And the canna bed all along this window here It has to be popped up and refreshed, and you put the bulbs back in with some food and compost. And then this next year they'll be more productive. If I let them sit, even though they had no problem overwintering. If I let them sit um, without supplementing them, then they go into like this last year, we hardly had a bloom. And went all year growing it, got one bloom before the end of the season. It wasn't very pretty. I mean, it was nice to have the greenery, but I want the blooms, especially here in the back. The cannas in the back perform like monsters. Big, big fat blooms and constantly blooming. Yeah, but out in front, it's more shaded until the late evening. But they still have bloomed very well for me. So I should take the camera out and let you see the mess that I'm involved in. Because it looks so pretty in the backyard. Well, it does now. And because I've just been working my ass off. I have been. I feel better. I feel good. I responded well. And now with my immunity up, I feel more confident that I can get out in public, but it doesn't mean I should be on the phone with supervisors complaining about some little crystal girl who has a man-hate problem. Unavailable. Because she does what? You're pissed off at me for not knowing the address, exact address? It's building C. I said, it's right there in front of the memorial front building. It's right in the front of their front door. It's part of memorial. But I need the exact address. You have it. I said, as a matter of fact, you dropped me off this morning and picked me up at it. So just look and see what it says. No, you're responsible for having it. That's what she said. It's like, your job is so easy. Mine isn't. No, it's not. And besides, I'm stoned, girl. Still, I swear by the infused candies, and so I'm down to like one, two, three left. And Malu had to close her store because of some problem with her license. So it's not like she's losing her store. She said to close it for a week, and she didn't tell me when she's opening, so we'll have to go and get some more. And it's not like there isn't a dispensary on every corner. I just prefer to work with the same person. I haven't heard back from SSA. I think it's a scam. It is. It's just like an insurance company. They're going to prolong um, paying. They're going to deny benefits, and you have to file, um, refile and refile, reclaim, send in, and eventually they agree and they pay it off. It's just that they want to extend the amount of time that it takes before they have to pay it out. It's kind of a process. So, anyways, I think the government's the same way. Yeah, because there's no reason for that. I mean, I had her on phone, and she said that she would put it in the file because she walked me through the computer 3 times. But then when she was off the phone, it finally let me in, and I made it all the way to the end, but then I didn't finish in time, and it timed me out and said that for security reasons, it's been timed out. So when I tried it again, then I was locked out again. So that's ridiculous. And it's not like I don't think I could get better. It's just that I want to be able to set it up beforehand. I'm not going to wait till it's so bad, then file. No. And yeah, when I'm 62, I'll take retirement. You know, what the hell? But I'm 60 and I have lung cancer, so it's a terminal illness and I could use a little help. So that's all. So they're extending the time. It's like, okay, go ahead. I don't care. I have gardening to do. And I should be out there now, but I'm still waiting for the sun to warm up after the eclipse. Yeah, it lasted quite a bit of time here. Yeah. It was almost a 3 hour event from the beginning to the end, but its zenith time is when it really got cold. It's like, burr, about 12 noon for us. So I hope that Nineveh repented and that no ill will befall them. Now, I know and recognize Chicago, the city of Chicago, as being Mystery Babylon. I've always known that. It was at one time was going to become uh, the new capital of the United States of America. That's where they were going to move the capital and everything. This is, I believe, Grover Cleveland at the time, whose secretary was Ida Hogue or something like that. And they had conceived this idea to move the capital from the East Coast to Chicago. Now, obviously, it didn't happen, and it was a junction between it being Denver, Colorado, to Chicago, Illinois, that they wanted to put the capital. And Denver is the new location for the FBI. So you would think that a lot of government services are moving their way into such places. But Chicago sits on many waters, and we as Jerusalem, Jerusalem, that it should be recognized as a portion. It's not New York, the Big Apple. It makes no sense. It's not. No, that's not Mystery Babylon. There's no mystery to New York City. We know all about it. Now, Chicago's a little bit different. And from history, we know it's notorious, but yet in its modern aspect, it's not realized beyond that of its poor political value upon the people and what they've done, and the migrants and the works. Yeah, all the making that comes with it. But it's Mystery Babylon. Yeah. As a portion, it's a mystery that it's a portion to the harlot which rides upon the beast, as the harlot itself is democracy. The beast itself is Judaism, as it is the false state of Israel, the construct that was put in place. It's like a crown, and everybody's dancing around it. They set it up. They put the Ashkenazi gypsies there and convinced even them that they were Judah when they weren't. They were practicing Judaism and were likely from Ephraim or Benjamin or the likes of, but were definitely the trash of Europe. The trash of Europe. So they created a space for the trash of Europe. And the construct. Certainly, the Ashkenazis. That's the child or son of the Ken. Ken means Ken means dog also in Japanese, but it would be the son of. Yeah, when you know it. So I recognize Chicago through Obama because he was the false prophet. False prophet is it leaps forth through the mouth of, but it's also conducted through religion, legion, for they are many. Religion. So the beast is Judaism, the false prophet is Islam, and then the dragon is Christianity. And so we see that through the measurement of the Bush administration to Obama and then to the dragon, Trump, Christianity. And as far as the Clintons are concerned, that's the Jezebel. Yeah, the Jezebel. And they're disgusting. And both of them, Mrs. and Mr. And if if you could just say Jezebel upon them, that's clean enough to say the disgusting thing they are. Yeah, it's good to just call them the Jezebel and not what they really are, what they've done, which is nasty. So the harlot itself is democracy. You say, no, we are a democracy, and we aren't. We're a republic for which it stands. We, the people, the meek, are the we, the small. So we, the people, are the meek, who shall inherit. And we stand as a republic. We always will. It was set forth. And the rest of the world, well, they took democracy. They seek freedom, so they have democracy. It's an illusion. It's nothing more than socialism, and it creates an oligarchy system where they have nepotism as their measurement of wealth. So you have to be born into it. Yeah, nepotism. And it's their children that get the opportunities. That's why they're all related. Sure, they know that. So, hmm, at any rate, we are Jerusalem. And in this respect, yeah, we're going to wake up to it, to the truth. I'm from the house of Manasseh. Yeah, I was to be the servant unto the house of Ephraim, only to inherit double portion, because Ephraim placed an idol. Yeah, denies that it is an idol, doesn't deny placing it. So Ephraim, in their conquer to conquer, is going to have to step back because they're not included as part of the 12 tribes of Israel that are to be in Revelation. Yeah, I wonder. So I feel pretty confident that my body's going to respond again in kind, as long as I don't go through the stressfulness and ridiculousness of the man haters out there. I don't know, with all that's gone on, the transgenderism and then feminism turning into, I think, I don't know what it turned into, a radicalism. I don't know. You don't know who you're going to meet, which is the fact that I've seen it at the hospital where a patient is in a room and there's a sign on the door that says, uh, no men allowed. So and that she, I assume, is insisting on female only practitioners and anybody else. Because what about nurses? It's take your blood pressure. No male allowed means none. So what are they, Islam? Yeah, where a man can't touch a woman. in a medical field, I don't think that those rules apply. Well, that's what I was saying about Obama. So Obama, he's not Christian. No, he even declared upon America this is no longer a Christian country. Well, that's ridiculous. We are founded on Christian principles. It's written into our Constitution, and you can't usurp that. They thought they could, and even the police forces were saying such things as your individual rights don't count, that the Constitution doesn't apply here. I remember that. And now they're singing a different tune. And now everybody's covering their face as to who was a part of the big fat lie. Shutting down America, shutting down businesses and livelihoods, restaurants and the like. All the time, all the while, those governors were out there having their own personal parties. And look at how fat they got. Look at how fat, skinny Skeletor Pelosi became. That's gross. It's wrong. It's wrong. Those aren't servants. Those are uncivil servants. And it's the un as the UN, as it is that of the harlot. Sure it is. They're serving themselves as they act like they're the freedom maker of them, of the world, and they aren't. Hey, Ruth, you want to go outside? Oh, he's just going to get on the bed. No, poor old thing. Mr. Biden. He's confused. Watch, he'll circle and circle. Wonder how many times he'll circle. Now it's going down. Boom. Cool. It's like a spirit. That was white, bright. He's white, bright. White, bright face. So, anyways, my words to that other guy are the same to myself. That's why I'm not depressed for this. I cried when I heard the worst. I'm glad it was better than that, even though it's bad. It's always bad, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't early enough, and it doesn't mean that I'm not strong enough to overcome it. And it's a measurement of change, so it's everything I ask for, so that I can escape, so I can finally become independent. But now I realize I can't just run off when all my joy is here. So I have to fill my lamp for joy. My joy is the yard. So the only thing I can tell Jeff is find love, find joy. If that's what it takes, that's what you need. But as far as me, I have to just don't include me to that because it just never was. And I deserve better than that. I deserve my life. So this is the change I ask for. That's a glorious thing. And I don't need to recite Paul or Corinthians or anything of the like. Any false bullshit. No, it's in truth. And I want to keep speaking the truth. But I still don't understand when I run into walls like this young woman today and I don't understand that. I guess I'll call him tomorrow and watch him be a different operator. And he'll say, oh, I just want to play with him. And we already have the address because we take you to the same place every day, every time. It's not like we don't know who you are. You should have a computer. You know what I noticed about this whole thing, cancer thing, or drugs, it's the meds, is that my nose is always cold. I don't know what's that about. What see when this immunotherapy is given to you and it forces the bones to do the work in order to fight, to start producing white blood cells, it negates unnecessary cells. And one of the unnecessary cells is your hair. And the next one is your skin. So it becomes very dry, and it does. I have to use lots of lotions and even pubic hair falls out. Yeah, and even losing pubic hair. So what little hair I have on my body is going to fall out because it's unnecessary for regeneration when the body is forced into such extreme measures to fight. Yeah, and even though I'm having a spasm because I've been talking too long, doesn't mean that I don't have full lung. I do, and so that's a good thing. That's why they want another X-ray on Friday because they want to see the difference. They want to see the shrinkage. They want to go, yay! That's, so cancer doesn't become your life. It's part of the next 6 weeks or 12 months. No, it's like any other project. It's a project. It's something to take care of. And yeah, it's something that potentially could save your life. So I feel bad that other man is depressed. And I'm not depressed. No, no, I'm not depressed at all. Because it's everything I asked for. Change. I wished for change. Well, I got it. Even my hair. So I probably don't even look the same. Probably don't. My eyes all puffy like I'm stoned. But I am. I want to go outside. Okay. So have a nice, well, it's the 8th, but we're going to add 3 to it. So it's what's in here. It is the fire. It is the light. Center stage. Ethos. So it's 4 time over the door uptime, which then creates in itself creation. The number 3, the creator, the artist. Recycle. Recycle number upon the day. And that's time to create 11. And that's the angel. Yeah, it is. It's the angel. So it's the number 11. Angelic messages, the mirror, the reflector. And it's truth. So take care. It's dog, she's right here. Just snorting it.